I hate myself. C++. Wow, I hate this more. C++ is not bad, bro. I don't know what people have. Okay, now, if you want to enjoy C++, you ready what you need to do? You don't use it. You only use tiny bit, you know, like operator overloading, check mark. Good, you know? Just use the tiny bits and pieces that you like, and then just use structs and C. Very nice. I love it. I love it. I can only recommend. Put everything in main CPP. True, true. What features of C++ do you use? Let's see. Let's take a look at what type of features of C++ I use that are only there in C++. I think we should begin at the very top, right? This is one thing that I use from C++, but that would be present in C. Guys, is const C++ or am I stupid? Const expression is C++, but const exists in C as well. Aha. Okay, thank you. Very important to know the difference here. You're stupid as well. I'm inclined to ban you, but okay, let's just move on. Const is assembly, right? What do you have in your toast cakes? Nothing, because I don't eat toast. Anyways, so I use the dot member operator. I don't know what you want to call this. When I build structures, for example, the pre-built structures, and you can see this here. This is a C++ feature from Clang specifically. I really like this one. Is this a C feature, by the way? Like, I'm so confused with the C++ and C features. There are so many different C feature too. So you're telling me that I could do this in C? What is C++ doing then? Of course people hate C++. I know that C++ got it 20 years after C, but I didn't know that it was in C. Like, what have these guys been doing? So anyways, okay, so that's another C feature that I use from C++, because if you use C++, then I, in my opinion, want to have this. So what I need to use is C++ 20. So you could call this a C++ feature, since we are compiling with C++ in mind. And so we need to have a minimum version of C++ to enable something that was already present in C. But let's call this a C++ feature, essentially, okay? Good feature that was already present in C. Why am I not surprised? Okay, cool. Let's move on. The same feature here, you know, accessing the members by dot operator. Really like this. I love this. So that's inside of an array, and then we index into the array of enums using the enum operator here, like the brace operator. And you know, that allows me to essentially do this, change the order here, but the array is still correct. This is really, really, really important, because ultimately what you see here, in my opinion, is a programmer JSON file. That's ultimately what I see here. So for me as a programmer, that's awesome. I like that. Okay, let's move on. Let's try to find a C++. Ooh, it's difficult. That's the same thing here. Just, well, operator overloading would be one thing, right? Operator overloading. That's number one. And I know another one. I use arrays, so templates, to generate me generic array types, like in C++. I really like that, because this allows me to do this. I really like that. I don't think that's present in C, and I think you have to always do a ranged-based for loop. So that one is, in my opinion, one of the coolest ones you can do. It's nice. Yeah, I really like that one too. And so that is essentially where I use templates. That's the only place. And then I generate the array of type with n as the number of elements. So basically just a wrapper around a C array. And I don't know how you would do that in C++. Sorry, in C solely. You probably can't, right? And so that's one of the reasons why I don't just use C. If C had this, man, I would probably be using C, man. Anyway, so that's another one. And of course, the operator overloading, which some people could say is bad. I think it's awesome. You know, struct vector2, you generate yourself a vector2, and then you check, well, this might not be a good example. The bool operator here, whether it's 0 or not. You could also define yourself a vector 0, but then you still have to compare them, which you obviously use with the operators, and then you can simply add two vectors together, you know, position plus, essentially. You can do this. And I think that's really cool because it ultimately makes the code easier to read. And so like these are, in my opinion, the two most important features that C++ offers me that I want to use, which is why I use C++ and not C. Because ultimately, there's so many crazy good features in C that already have been there that just got removed in C++ and I just don't understand why. Feels dumb to me, and they must have realized that too, because they're adding them back in. I'm not copying here, right? So they're adding these back in because they're actually good features. Because it makes sense, like you see this, you can clearly tell how the data is laid out, right? You can clearly see the type has to be first. So the type comes first and then the sprite ID. Now, obviously you could miss something here, right? There could be some int, a param in the middle that you don't see. Right, that is allowed, but still, it's really good. You use references to Cakez. Yeah, I've started using references, but ultimately pointers do the trick too. So yeah, array enum init is not even valid C++. You're relying on a compiler extension that allows you to use it, but it might break with a different compiler. Yeah, it will break with a different compiler, which is why I don't use another compiler. I will just use Clang.